Let's get into it.
All right,
It's
this will be interesting.
It's a good podcast to be like a little bit high for, because we've been planning to do this on Mailtime for a little while now, and we're breaking down the greatest names of all time and the most ridiculous names that we've ever come across. And we just had Adam Pally on KFC Radio, who named his son Drake, just straight up after Drizzy. Just like, he's the greatest Jewish rapper of all time. I'm naming my kid fucking Drake. Not only is it a cool, example of a person, but, it's just a fucking great name. The Drake. I mean, we've been doing it since the Seinfeld days. Love the Drake, hate the Drake.
It's great that there's a rapper that has made that cool, because you definitely could not name your kid Tupac.
Yeah, right. It's got to be somewhat reasonable,
right?
Can't be Tupac, Biggie, Snoop. Nah, for a while we were doing weird shit.
Nasir.
Yeah. I named my kid Andre 3000. But as we're about to embark on this journey, Andre 3000 would be a middle of the pack one for some of the names that we've seen, and it's typically a sports thing. I feel like it's usually an athlete that we see with these names. But they run the gamut from entertainers and
if some of these names were like accountants, it would be
a problem,
right?
Well,
but that's what you spoke
to
with Adam Pally. You were like, what if this guy doesn't?
When you name your kid something aggressive, you are either condemning them or giving them a leg up, because you're either gonna make a kid. It's a chicken or the egg thing. It's like, do you have a power name because you are a CEO? Or are you a CEO because you have a power name and you walked around your whole childhood with a confidence, you weren't going to get bullied on the playground, you were a cool kid? But it's weird because names are just, why is the name if you go by Frederick, I feel like people are going to make fun of you. That's Frederick, right? Why is that any different than Tom?
Yeah, that's true.
There are certain, especially with women, there are Agnes, Mildred,
right.
Maud. Those are dead fucking names.
Right.
Karen is now a white girl name. There are certain things evolve and just become set in stone.
But there was someone named Maud who was
fire,
really hot.
She was
in her day.
Smoke.
Yeah.
She was a little kinky little minx.
Yeah. And notice how because some of those names have not faded out in Europe. It will also be pronounced different, but Agnes is Agnes.
Yeah.
And then she can still be super hot.
Yeah. Well, there's also, I feel like it kind of is cyclical. Grace came back around big time. I think Grace was an old lady name, and now it's a normal young girl name. Maeve is hot in the streets for the Irish people.
Yeah.
There are certain things that sound old that almost become hipsterish in a way, but then there's just flat out. Maud is curtains,
I think Gary is on pace to be wiped out. Gary Vaynerchuk was it's my job to inspire people to bring the name back because it's on the way out.
Well, that is Stan Soder, the son of a Gary. I mean, Gary definitely has a connotation or a feel to it. It's a feel that goes along with your name. But is it is there something inherent about it, or are we just, were there cool people named this and lame people named that, and so certain things is it nature or nurture?
Right.
To me, whenever I was a little kid playing imagination, playing pretend, I was Jason. I was fucking Jason, and that's because we knew a kid whose name was Jason, and he was a couple years older, and he was fucking handsome and cool as shit. He's been my man crush forever.
Right.
I mean, I can't I don't want to drop a government name, but he's got the best full name ever. Jason Barron. I mean, you're telling me Jason Barron is either a baron, like a oil tycoon billionaire, or it's
name.
Jason Bourne, he's a fucking killer. Jason Barron, or that's the 5-star recruit. I mean, that kid was going to be handsome and successful and confident no matter what with that name.
Right.
But then you can go too far where you give a kid a name that now all of a sudden he has to either A, live up to, it's almost like a burden, or B, you now got to worry about if they get bullied. And at every stage in life, will that name be a asset or a problem? And this came up with the Adam Pally interview of the coldest to ever do it, Crawford. First name, the coldest, D-A' coldest. Middle name, to ever do it. Toevadoit.
It's fantastic.
Crawford. The fact that he just has a normal last name, Crawford. The coldest to ever do it. Now, he's a recruit of high school, gonna go play college ball, football player, right?
Yes.
Like, probably, if he's been making headlines, he's probably pretty decent. This kid's got a shot at the league, maybe gonna make a few million. Who knows? Maybe he could be the next, career franchise cornerstone. But there was a time where the coldest to ever do it was 6 years old, and he was learning how to spell his name, and he was like, what the fuck is this thing?
But
this kid's name is Ben. B-E-N. I've got like big D, little A, apostrophe, capital C, coldest to ever do it.
I feel like you probably grew up with a few people who weren't just like,
probably
Bens and Garys.
I would probably imagine a lot of those names are
But, with young kids, you're teaching them, they don't know if their name is weird or unique at all until it's a little bit later. Like, when he's 6 years old.
Other kids are going to potentially be able to make fun of you for it or talk about it. Because,
Right.
When I named you this, you know it as your name. When you're at home, no one's bringing up your name. It's when a teacher or another student or a friend is like, wait, what? Hold up.
I'm trying to find out if he has siblings. I don't see it here.
Imagine if they just like knew.
I always think it's
this is the one. This is the one that's going to be an athlete. We'll name him the coldest.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like if he has a brother, Todd.
Right. Well, that's like Left Eye, right? Wasn't Left Eye Lopez? Wasn't her name's like Lisa Lopez, and her sisters are like Gemstone, and like all this wild shit. That never makes any sense to me. Sometimes I feel like you have to carry on a family name, and then you get that out of the way, and then you just go wild. But you can't have two people with weird names and then like one kid with a totally normal name. Yeah. And so now we're at a point in society where it feels like you're either like a young black superstar athlete in the making, or you are like the cream cheese white Gwyneth Paltrow daughter.
Raindrop Lopez.
Raindrop
R-E-I-G-N.
Raindrop Lopez. And my sister, Lisa. And then you're going to get, the coldest to ever do it over here in the hood playing football, and you get Apple Paltrow, or whatever the fuck Gwen Paltrow named her fucking kid. Apple Martin or something. You're either a completely like spoiled Hollywood brat.
She was one that was early on. Now names are off the deep end. Like, you can't be surprised.
Well, now it's like within the weird name realm, you're running out of name. Like now you're getting now we're at the bottom of the barrel of alternative names.
Right. You've just named them after objects and food, and now you have to smash words together like the coldest to ever do it to even stand out.
We're at the point with the Kardashian clan where like I feel like there's a couple names floating around that I didn't even know of. I feel like one's named Stormy, right?
Yep.
And then there's another one after that, I thought, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure of the order, but there's North, there's Chicago, Stormy.
I mean, Chicago's the crazy one. I think that gets me.
I mean, Northwest.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is preposterous. I thought that was a joke.
I think the public named that baby.
Yeah.
I think that there was jokes about that, and they were like, "Yo, that's kind of fire. Let's do it." I mean, it is kind of fire.
Yeah.
But like that girl, her father's Kanye West. Her mom is Kim. Her name is Northwest. She will be a model, singer, actress, influencer. She will be.
Yes.
She got it all now, you know?
Well, it's like Michael Jackson's kids are like growing up now, and it's like
Paris and
Paris
Blanket.
Is his name Blanket?
I think
somebody's
like
named Prince, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think somebody's named Blanket.
Blanket. Well, that's ridiculous. That didn't catch up. But like Paris sounded weird at the time, and now it's just Paris Jackson. You're like, maybe it was Paris. Not Prince.
Blanket Jackson.
I mean, no, that still sounds ridiculous.
There's Paris and Prince and Blanket.
Prince. Like Prince, it was like the king of pop and the Prince. So I was like, I get it, even though it's like a little kitschy. It's like it's like a little gimmicky. But like Prince Jackson, that's like just par for the course now. Blanket still sounds ridiculous.
Well, perfect example. May 26th, 2017. Michael Blanket Jackson changes his name after years of bullying.
Okay.
So and we're talking about
to
what?
What are they
the king of pop. You're a billionaire. Like, that kid still went to school, and his name sucked so bad. And I guess it's different. Like, yeah, the king of pop, but like your dad, like, fucking call
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So it's not exactly like maybe you were not getting bullied because your name was Blanket.
Right.
Now,
like if you're like also, the Rock's son, like you can be named anything. You're gonna be all right.
I'm also imagining this is the baby that he put the blanket over the head, dangled off the balcony.
Yes, that is. Yeah, I thought I thought we had concocted that, and it was like that was a fun, like that was like a. This is what you should name your kid, but they didn't end up doing it because that's like how you said with Kanye's kid.
Yeah,
like, it would be great if it was. I'm sure South was on the table too, but it was just like they probably were kicking around. And you're like Northwest. That does like ring a bell. Kanye was like that does sound like it works. And I'm like it sounds like it works because it's a direction.
It's a thing on a map. Yeah. It's already a phrase in society. Right. That's why it's like drive through. Yeah.
Why does that
drive
just roll
through
off
Clancy? That sounds great. It just flows. Like it's already a fucking thing. So here's where I have no sympathy. Blanket Jackson. You think he would change his name to like Frank?
Oh boy,
Frank Jackson.
Yes.
Change it to BG, B-I-G-I, or Biggie, BG, Bijai, Big Eye. I don't know.
No.
But like you change your name because of bullying to fucking BG, BJ, Beach Blowjob. You're Blowjay. You're Blowjob Jackson now. Congratulations, you idiot.
This is like in Big Daddy when he wanted to be
Frankenstein.
Like when did they let that kid change his name?
Yeah,
like
well,
you gotta let that kid change his name when he's
adult.
like 17 and he's like, come on, I'm gonna pick a practical name. You can't let him change his name when he's 9.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You have set the bar now for him,
yes.
for you
have
for everybody.
Tiger Woods.
DeColdis is not gonna work at Enterprise.
No.
Maybe he is after he misses like in the draft, but at least we're gonna fucking get there.
Right.
We better be in the conversation, or we're fucked.
Or but if that kid's like 10 years old and you know that he's like gonna be a nerd, he's gonna be like a podcaster.
Yeah, change his name to like DC or something.
Yeah, definitely.
But
to give him to ever do it too, it's not you can go by the middle name.
No, you certainly can. Maybe like DeColdest to never do it. Just change that. Just put the N in there. I'm DeColdest to never do it. I kind of like that. Like that's my new way to say that I'm like washed up and didn't achieve anything. I'm DeColdest to never do it. I'm the best to never amount to anything. It's still the best of something. The tallest short kid, but. It's a real chicken or the egg type thing. I know Malcolm Gladwell has written about this. There's urban legends all over. Like everybody knows somebody who named their kid Nazmo King because they looked at the no smoking sign in the hospital and they just didn't care. I've heard of
these were memes before like we could check them online.
Yes,
like
so
you just heard about it and you're like, can you
it?
believe it? And it's like it probably didn't happen.
I mean the amount of you know what, we'll do an urban legends episode coming up too. Because I got to do, the kids who picked up the troll and thinking it was thought it was a baby, the dead dog in the bag. I mean, there's a million ones that everybody hears along the line, like, wow, it's the best story ever. It's like, well, it's because it's fucking fake. But I think those names fall into it too. Nazmo King, Absidy, ABCDE, and Ladasha, but it's just spelled LA hyphen, like LA dash so it's LA dash
Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to put punctuation in there?
That's a screen name. That's that's an away message
underscore.
Screen name. Yeah, you can't put characters and shit in here. It's just a fucking name with letters. It's not a password, bro. It's your daughter's name.
You get apostrophes, and you can hyphenate, but you can't make the dash pronounced.
Right. Like if can I just name my kid Slash and just have it
backslash?
Just be a backslash is a cool name.
Yes.
I would. If I was a famous person, I would consider backslash Clancy.
But are you writing it out, or are you just writing the slash?
I think I would do back.
I mean, spelling it out looks cool too. If you write the word
backslash is pretty cool. If it was just the backslash, you can't do back and then the backslash because that would technically be backslash.
Yes.
So it would just have to either be all.
You could do back and then /, and it would translate as backslash.
That's just spell it out. Backslash Clancy.
Not bad.
But again, and maybe this is, I associate Slash with Guns N' Roses, but I think backslash has to be I think he has to be a drummer, actually. Slash played the guitar, but I think backslash is like,
yeah.
Backslash, see, that's kind of hard, though. I'm stumbling.
Hard
backslash. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, backslash. That's true.
Backslash. I'm like, all of a sudden, it sounds like backscratch. It's like your whole name gets fucked up because of the way you pronounce it.
Wow, we just did a 180 on that.
Came around backslash real hard. It's great in theory. But you got to think about these things
great,
for
like,
the coldest. And now, because there's a chicken or the egg thing in my head, I think of all the names that I know because they stuck out because they made it.
Right.
God's gift God's gift, like Iwo Jima or whatever was his name.
Yeah.
But first, middle name, whatever. God's '*S gift. Played ball at St. John's. Like, that's, St. John's, at least historically, it's been terrible forever, but it has some name to it. And you played Division I college basketball.
I honestly feel like anybody with a interesting name that goes to St. John's, like even when they're terrible, St. John's is the New York. It's the New York City college. It hasn't been good, but it still will. It'll get buzz in New York City, and then it'll get buzz nationally because of that.
It's New York City. It's basketball. It's Division I hoops. You made it further than 99% of the company world, but are you God's gift? I feel like you got to be like the king. You got to be LeBron James to be. By the way, power name LeBron James.
Right,
like that dude. He genetically, but like also was just set up to be that dude.
Right.
Like LeBron, like LeBron is not. If LeBron stunk, like we wouldn't think LeBron is a lame name. LeBron, it's a name. It's got the like the bruh. Like that is there's something phonetically or whatever. Like there's actually
so it's interesting. It's
the
like
pronunciation and the letters and.
Yeah, so it's like LeBron James sounds destined for greatness. Like even like Kawhi Leonard. Like but then also like something simple like Chris Paul still sounds like something.
So that might be I think a little like if that guy's an accountant, it's like you're boring, you're plain. But if you're great and you have a pretty like low key name, it almost becomes like reverse like you know what I mean? Like I'm just Chris Paul. I'm the average guy, but I'm not.
Right.
But I think that one is influenced by what we've seen, whereas like God's gift. The other two, the two arguably greatest of all time, Scientific and Majestic Map.
Those are the greatest. That absolutely is the greatest of all time.
Two brothers, Scientific Map and Majestic Map.
Which one? Do you remember which one we heard of first? I feel like it was Scientific.
I do too. Yeah, it was definitely because I remember thinking
and
Scientific
then I was like,
Map
there's
is
another
thing.
one.
Well,
right.
But Majestic Map is just like they just thought the name was cool.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
well, you got to take into account like is this a name based on your last name? Kind of like North was definitely influenced by the fact that West, but like Majestic wasn't. But it's probably like we opened the door with fucking Scientific.
But see, Scientific, like I feel like you could be Cy. What up, Cy?
That works.
Like your real name is terrible, but like Majestic, what do you be like? What up, Madge? What up, Jest? What up, Stick? You got to also think about the nicknames that go along with it. But Scientific and Majestic Map to me are the most like you can't even top that. Although I got a tweet from someone back in the day when we were talking about Ladasha and Nazmo King that said he knew a family. Again, he knew somebody who knew because all of these feel like urban legends. Usmail and Usnave, U.S. Mail and U.S. Navy. Usmail and Usnave.
Oh boy. I can't even think why you would think to do that. Like I like
just talk about Mailtime. You're like fucking got a new baby and you look at the fucking mail and you say
it'd be like I'm like Mike Rophone. Like that's what
Mike Rophone? That's a corny white rapper name right there.
Yes.
What up, Mike? It's Raphone on the mic, like Rafone. It's Raphone. I'm an Italian rapper. I'm Mike Raphone from Staten Island, New York. Hey, Mr. Raphone. How you doing, Mr. Raphone?
Like
say hello to your mother for me.
Yeah, Raphone is definitely
Michael Raphone.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably Raphone.
Yeah,
but it might be spelled like Raphone.
Right, with the E with the accent. But
it's
no,
Mike Raphone.
It's Michael Raphone from Staten Island, New York.